All right, next up, we have another clip here. So this Dusty Crusty right here, my buddy, decided that he would make his girl pay for her share of the date because she would not give up the box. So stuff like this is always kind of weird to me because my whole thing is if I'm on a date and the girl starts TikToking our date, I'm going to tell her to put the damn phone down. Like, you're not going to be recording our date. So whenever I see stuff like this, I always wonder, like, is this real or was this fake and made for clicks? But, you know, for the purposes of this conversation, let's assume that it wasn't recorded for clicks and that it is indeed real. And so, you know, here we go. This guy basically telling the server to bring 2 checks because he's upset that the girl will not put out after the day is over.
All right, guys. Did you really come up with 2 separate checks?
Yeah.
You're really going to make me pay? No.
Well, anyway, man, she's not going to give you what? That's great.
Man. Are you?
I'm going to pay 15. This is a show recap.
Fuck you.
See, that's a show.
He's really making me pay you guys.
Hey, how you get home?
You're fucking taking me home. You're taking me home. No.
You want to give that to the ride?
No. You're taking me home.
I think you need a food.
All right, you guys. He's not making me. He's making me pay for my food because I won't have sex with him. That's the sad thing. Look at this man. Don't ever go out with him. Don't give him your number. Just fucking run.
Y'all hoes hungry.
Tell you, man, TikTok is the gift that keeps on giving, man. Yeah, so old boy basically told the waiter to split the check up because apparently at some point it became apparent to him that he wasn't going to get no action at the end of the date. I guess my initial reaction to this is the central point that so I think of 2 things that come to my mind immediately. The first thing that comes to my mind is the imbalanced premium that us men have placed on vagina and how that clouds our better judgment from time to time. But I know why we do it. We do it, and I've referenced this before. We place such a heavy emphasis on it because as men with dwindling social skills and with dwindling manhood and patience, we've become so bitch-made over the last 1 or 2 generations. We place such a high premium and stock on this particular exchange with any particular female because we don't know that if that situation works out, when we going to be able to get our next nut. And so that extreme sense of urgency causes us to kind of push the envelope and push the issue. When in reality, all you have to do is just play your cards right and be patient, and it'll come in due time. But you got guys like this. Now, to be fair, I don't know how many times they've been on a date, but based upon this video, it seems like that was the first time that they had hung out because of her tone and what she was saying and how she, you know, talking about how don't ever go on a date with this guy. If you see him, just run. I feel like that was the first time that they hung out. And so this is the first time that y'all are hanging out and you're already taking it there. It tells me that this is somebody who is involuntarily celibate and does not know how to handle it. He is an incel in the purest sense of the word. He doesn't get action on a regular basis. And so because of that, he presses and he emphasizes it to the point where there's such a heavy sense of urgency that if it doesn't get to that point, he's freaking out because he doesn't know when he's going to be on his next date, because he doesn't know when's the next time a girl's going to actually go out on a date with him. So for him, he's like, let me put all my eggs in this basket and go for broke. And rarely ever does that work to a man's benefit. So that's the first thing that comes to mind, is just placing that unreasonably high premium on sex, especially in that particular circumstance when you're talking about hanging out with a girl on the first date. All you gotta do is just pay for a couple more days, bro. It's gonna happen. But here you go, pressing the issue. The second thing that comes to mind is social atrophy. Lack of social skills once again. And I think these two themes for me kind of tie together. I feel like if this was a guy who was more self-assured in how to communicate effectively with women, this would be a non-issue for him. But because he does not have those requisite skills, he is at the mercy of being lucky that a woman decides she's going to give him some, even though he may not have earned it. And, the reason why I kind of maintain this take is because I think that it is something that more men need to pay attention to. If you're struggling or frustrated with how these situations are playing out, or if you found yourself in a situation like this is something that you can kind of take cues from and learn how to evolve your game so that you don't find yourself in that situation. But for me, my initial thoughts watching this was, I don't know what the girl looks like. I don't know what their rapport has been. I just know that if I'm in that situation, I would probably handle it different than the way he handled it. And I think the way he handled it contributed greatly to why he ain't going to get no ass from her, to use his words. Right. And so, this is one of those things where I kind of say, hey, man, guys, there's a different way to handle it. In all likelihood, she's not completely absolved from any culpability in that dynamic. We've said time and time again. This isn't a blanket statement. These aren't generalizations. We don't want to leap to absolute conclusions. So she's probably sharing some of the blame for how this turned out. But I do believe that men are the head and men do set the tone. And so when you set a tone of being a beta, you're oftentimes going to get beta results. And so it would behoove you as a man to know how to set alpha tone so that you can get alpha results. But that was my initial reaction.
Yeah, for me, I wasn't too sure either if this was like a skit or something. I first took it as real. Then, I saw comments that, would suggest maybe it's not. But so even then, it's still the dialogue. The reason why I went viral was because, this is a thing. And so speaking on this type of behavior, I agree with you, 100% that behavior like this comes from a sense of urgency because they don't have or don't get. And there's this sense of desperation that calls shots for them instead of actually, like you said, being patient and stuff like that. And so when I was a young person, I would lose patience. I never did anything to this extreme. Right. But I would lose patience because the first date didn't go as fast as I want. I didn't want to smash, but I wanted it to go faster. Right. And then I would lose patience and then not follow up. And then, later on in life, I was like, damn, all I had to do is follow up.
Yeah. I've done it. I feel like we've all done it. I've done that too.
Yeah, man, all I had to do was follow up and then whoop-de-whoop. Yeah. So my dumb ass, the first date didn't go how I wanted to go, so now I'm tripping. Yeah. So, if this is a real scenario and this guy has this level of urgency at that age, then it really does speak to where he's at in his life. And that's just not somebody that a woman should be trying to date like that anyway. If this was the first date, girl, it better have been blind and he showed up like that. But apparently he picked you up and drove you there.
Yeah.
So at this juncture, you got what you paid for.
Yeah, literally.
So in this situation, if this is a real scenario and this woman here really saw this man, got in the car with him, all right, this first date, and he came this groom wearing a Looney Tunes or something t-shirt, and you got in the car with him and went abroad, this guy could have drove you in the woods looking like this. But you had to get that free Applebee's, didn't you? That free Applebee's.
And it wasn't even free.
Well, it turned out
it didn't even end up being free. That's the worst part about it. She thought it was gonna be, and nope.
Hey, bruh's side was $15. Hers was $42. Somebody thought this meal was free, and so now that she's got to pay, now she's mad. And so, hey, you surprised? How'd you meet this guy? You know, so there's so many scenarios. It's like, hey, man, you get what you paid for. But this also speaks to a situation where, again, there is now, I mean, it used to go on back in the day, you know, women just milking you for the date, you know, but not as pervasive as it is now. I mean, it is really an art that women are out here doing. I mean, it is what it is. I don't mind. I'll go on a first date. I'll do whatever. It is what it is. All right. So I'll go do it. If it turns to find out that I was just a finesse, you know, she just, oh no, I just wanted a free meal. And if that comes to be, hey man, it's part of the game now, guys. Yeah. It's part of the game. You still got, if you still want to get results, you still got to go out there and play, because you never know. This one that you did take out, she's not about the foolishness, and she actually looks good, so it was worth it, kind of thing. Right. So don't go out there and go, oh yeah, you know, hell, they all the same. Hey man, if you got to pay the cost, you gotta pay the cost. And so if you want to succeed out here, hey man, do what you got to do. And I'm not saying trick off, because I'm Captain Dutch over here. I will split a check in half. But at the same time, on the first one, you know, whatever. It's on me, because whatever the hell. You know what I'm saying? But especially when it's her suggestion. Oh, yeah, well, we're cutting it. You know, so I'm a 50-50 guy. I thought women liked that. That's another topic, though. Because 50-50 dialogue, because my whole thing was like, hey, I'm bringing, you know, this relationship is 100%. I'm bringing my 50, which is my 100. You're bringing your 50, which is your 100, and we make this 100 relationship work. It sounds great on paper, but then in practicality, once you start making them do stuff that they want you to do, but it's like, hey man, it's 50-50, right? And they just can't stand it. So it's a situation where you can't really run a situation like that. Come to find out, women want, just like the first lady said, a boss. And they want somebody. If you want a boss, man, then are you willing to be the employee? So at some point, you know, as men, we have to be in an alpha state, as you stated. Be in a situation where you're not treating situations like this. Because even if she did try you, bro, even if you know that you're not going to get none or anything by the end of the day, just take the L and roll on, bro. Just be mature, you know? And so if there is people out here that, because I'm pretty sure there's cats out here that will pull this because they think they're you know, pouring one out for Kevin Samuels or something. So they're going to sit there and, you know, stand their ground and be rude. You know what I'm saying? Just completely pump faker the whole time, thinking that you're going to pay, and then whoop, we split it. Why? Because I'm catching the vibes that we're not having sex tonight. So I'm not going to pay. We're splitting it. It's like, man, that cannot be a thing. I did see a video, however, where it wasn't about sex. It was just about, bro, we got to show that one day. But it was just about, bro, he was out with the girl, and he was like, hey, he told her, hey, keep it humble. You know, it's our, you know, don't run it up. She ran it up. So he split it. So he was like, hey, I told you not to run it up. Look at your tab. Look at mine. I had Groupon. Oh, you had Groupon? Oh, you broke. What? I was going to pay for you. Oh, yeah, you got to see that video, bro. So this is, if there's a situation where, hey, man, you came in on a humble, you really wanted to take this girl out, and she's ordering top shelf everything, and you can clearly tell you're getting gas. Hey, man, maybe you might want to go, hey, well, we splitting this, or, you know, 75-25, what are we doing here? Because I'm damn sure not paying for all of this. So there is a cutoff, man, because, again, the game has changed so much, and I really haven't been out there like that, you know, with the new wave. You know what I'm saying? But with the new, if what they're doing is like really, like I said, they're like doing this on purpose now. So if they really go there to run it up, they're really getting doubles, and they're really, you know what I'm saying, getting dessert. You know what I'm saying? Like you ordering dessert now. So that kind of stuff is wild, man. So yeah, man, but just take the L, be a man, budget it in, you know, budget dating into your monthly budget. You know what I'm saying? I know I do. And then that way it just comes out, but it's like, you know, your 401k, your taxes. It's just something that comes out of your paycheck. So it keeps you socially moving, you know? So that's how I felt about that.
Yeah. I'm going to go a little macro.
Okay.
So, personally, I believe that it is, as a man, I personally believe that it is your responsibility to ensure that you are prepared for all possibilities when it comes to your dating and relationship situation. I do believe that when it comes to relational dynamics, men set the tone and women acquiesce. So women are going to pick up on whatever tone you're setting, and they're going to behave accordingly. So if you set a tone that they perceive to be a situation in which they are going to run it up on you, I feel like that's on you. That's not on them. Because if you believe yourself to be a man who is supposed to be the head and running the show and all of that kind of stuff, trust me, intrinsically, women are willing to comply with that so long as they're dealing with the guy who is able to do it, in the right way. Mm-hmm. So as a man, it is your responsibility to be prepared for any and all possible outcomes. Okay. And the reason why I bring that up is because personally, I think that as a man, especially in 2022, if you are going to be someone who takes on the task, the challenge of being someone who is on the dating scene, you have to be prepared, regardless of who this woman is, or regardless of what your rapport is, whether you think she's humble, whether you think that she is an attention seeker, whether you think that she is someone who is out for a check or a bag. I don't give a damn what type of woman you think she is. As a man, if you are going to be out here on the dating scene, you need to be prepared that I'm going to take a woman out, and regardless of whether I'm going to get the outcome I want or whether she's going to run it up or not, I know that I have the ability to sustain that because I prepared for it. So I just kind of feel like if you're going to take a chick out, you have to know this $150, $200 I no longer have. It's set aside for this specific purpose. So even if I'm dealing with a broad, even if I'm dealing with a chick who's going to run it up, I prepared for this beforehand. And so I am able to incur that loss, but I'm still going to invest in the situation in the event that it works out in my favor. If you are a guy who is ill prepared in that fashion, you shouldn't be out here dating. That's my personal opinion. Unless you're going to be dealing with women who are just so extremely low maintenance that they don't mind if you take them to Applebee's, and if you can't handle it, she's going to be okay with you splitting an Applebee's check. Like, bro, Applebee's is not Ruth's Chris or Prime 112. It's Applebee's. You can get 2 meals for $20 at that place.
Right.
So at that point, I feel like it says something about you as a guy for you to take a woman to Applebee's and get so discouraged because the outcome isn't going to play out the way you want it to, that you're going to split the bill. Like, it's Applebee's. So that's why I think at the end of the day, this becomes a reflection upon you as a man and to any other man who is in that particular situation. Like, don't put yourself in that circumstance if you are ill prepared to take on all the risk. Like, that is just your responsibility as a man. Deal with it and move on. That's our reality. Okay? I talk about this often. It's two sides of the same coin. So that's our undesirable side of the coin. Women's undesirable side of the coin is I got to make sure that at all times I'm looking good enough to make sure that he's going to want to continue to take me out. I'm pretty sure in a perfect world, women don't want to spend 2-3 hours getting ready for a date, but they do it because that's what they have to do. It's their side of that coin. It's their reality. They probably want to go out looking whatever kind of way they want to, but they know that if they do that, they're probably putting themselves at risk of not getting the outcome that they want. So we all deal with sides of the coin that are particularly undesirable. If you as a man are going to be out here dating, you need to be prepared for that. Don't go out here ill-prepared and then get mad when the woman is disrespecting you because of your lack of preparedness. Be prepared. So And now, and to be honest, I kind of think it all works hand in hand. I think men who are self-assured and have great social skills are more than likely the men who are going to be prepared to incur the risk. And the guys who are out here dealing with social atrophy and being involuntarily celibate are more than likely the guys who are going to be ill-prepared to incur the risk. And I think that if you're ill-prepared to incur the risk, you need to take a step back from dating and work on yourself and improve yourself to the best of your ability so that you can come back to the table prepared. And this is not to let women off the hook, because women have some messed up, egotistical, self-absorbed, egomaniacal ways. And we can go on and on talking about that. But I'm not focused on them. I'm focused on us as men and what we need to do to best position ourselves for success. And that's something that you as a man need to do to best position yourself for success. Don't be the guy who says, I'm so pressed for vagina because I'm such an incel and I have such poor social skills. And in all likelihood, I am so ill-prepared economically, financially, that if I put all my eggs in this basket and it doesn't work out the way that I want to, I'm going to split a check at Applebee's, a place where you can get 2 meals and a dessert for less than $30. So, that's kind of my macro level way of looking at it. I just kind of feel like, to quote Scar from The Lion King, you got to be prepared out here. Be prepared. Don't come to the table unwilling to bargain. You have to have all your ducks in a row. Because if you have all your ducks in a row, at the end of the day, you can rest head. You can rest easy at night knowing I did what I had to do. This didn't work out because of extraneous circumstances that were beyond my control. But if you come to the table and all your ducks are in a row, you don't know whether if they had been in a row, if it could have worked out in a better fashion.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? That's just kind of how I see it. But there's too many dudes out here who just aren't willing to do what they have to do so that they can know for sure that, if they're in a TikTok video, it wasn't because of what they did or didn't do, but was definitely because this chick was crazy. This guy cannot definitively say, hey, man, I was dealing with a crazy bitch. He can't say that because he was in a situation where he was unwilling to come to the table prepared.
And even then, right? So, I mean, it's just a certain level. Like I said earlier, it's just a certain level of maturity is all. It was weird for me at times trying to figure out, I want to feel older. I want to be mature. I just didn't know. And it just took life experience and stuff like that. But when you're somebody that this guy's age, this is like a lesson that should have been learned, to not just conduct yourself like this. And like you said, man, just take the L. This should be something that you should be equating anyway. And so, I mean, I get it. Everybody ain't got, high paying jobs. So, so it might be circumstantial or whatever. And hey, man, I just couldn't afford that. And, again, like you said, if you can't afford that, then that's when you have to, look inward, bro, and really dig deep and get yourself right, because you should be able to afford $30 or whatever.
Yeah, if Applebee's is your, I'm not saying that you need to be a guy who can afford to take a chick to Prime 112. If Applebee's is your lane, you need to be able to be prepared to work out in your lane.
Yeah,
that's it. So if Applebee's is your lane, if your thing is I'll take my chicks to dates at Panera Bread, if that's your lane, then you have to be prepared to incur all of the risk, and you have to be willing to make all the full investment at Panera Bread or Applebee's. You can't be a guy who's operating in that lane and you still aren't prepared for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so for me, like we said earlier, for me, I'm not a first date guy. It doesn't have to be. If it happens, so be it. I think I think like the closest for me is first date next day. It's good enough. First date, I did my job. Next day, it goes down.
That's nothing to slouch at, man.
Exactly.
That's good stuff.
That's what I'm saying. So if it's like that, so everybody, and again, man, I don't know what kind of standards a guy puts on himself, but for me, man, the way that I live my life, and it's just like, hey man, I like the results that I get, and it ain't bad. And the things that I do are pretty conservative. I'm not really that hard pressed to, because why rush it? And so it's just one of these things, man, where, you know, a certain level of maturity should have already been there for somebody his age. And so, yeah, man, just take it in stride. And that's the best way to deal with these things. But the good and the bad that comes from the Manosphere Online and the red pill, waking up and all that good stuff is that some people are using this hammer for assault.
Yeah.
And it's just like, hey man, you're supposed to use this to build sheds and stuff. Like, you're out here wielding this thing like a madman. Oh yeah, blah blah blah. Yeah, those are good points, bro, but not right now. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah, man, that's fair, but come on, bro. So there's like a level of discernment that has to be used when you're equipped with such information. The internet has provided these men with a lot of information, myself included. And so with, great power comes, great responsibility. And you have to be able to wield this information because, man, men are logical creatures. So all this information online, we will apply it. That's what men do. So, but it's all about how you apply it, man. And you got to apply it with some class, like how the Labs girl said. And just be less rough around the edges with it, man. Like, you don't have to let them know your playbook. Just play the plays, man. Just do your thing, and so you ain't gonna hey, bro, just pay for it and walk out and never see her again. And that's just how it rolls.
Yeah.
Last chick I took out, had a good time when it was, whatever we did on the date. And then it was just it was post date. We just still hanging out and talking. And, ideological differences in life. I had my stance. I wasn't upset or aggressive because this is the first date. I don't even want to talk about this. But she insisted. And she's going for it, and she has her stance. I have mine. I have my stance, but at the same time, I'm saying I really don't care. Really, this is how I feel, but I'm open to change. And then she's still just hammering away. I said, you know what? I don't have to deal with this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to deal with this. Yes, she's cool. Yes, the body looks nice, but I don't want to deal with that. Like, this is first date. She's going to give me hell, 6 months from now, if I keep this up. So yeah, man, just I didn't say nothing bad to her or whatever. To me, it was just not a match.
Yeah,
I just let it go.
Yeah, bygones type stuff.
Yeah, I don't have to blow up. Oh yeah, you need to tighten up. I don't need to straighten her out, man. Just keep it moving and just keep it pushing, man. Keep it playing. That's what I say keep it playing, man. And what I mean by that is keep it amicable. Keep things relaxed. You don't have to beef with nobody. Beefing with people is so stupid. And so when you're dealing with women that are trying to antagonize you, and then you have an antagonistic spirit within you, then you're rolling in the mud with her. So the whole point is, by keeping play and keeping it cool and keeping it even kill, is basically, I had to learn this from some interesting situations. But I learned that, hey, man, if I just keep it chill and not blow up, not care, not this, not that, and just live mellow. If you're at the table and this lady's running it up on you, you know what I'm saying? You got your budget set aside for this. So you brought more than enough for this situation. It happens. You kept it amicable. She'll never know. She'll probably think there's a second date coming after this, the way that you handled it. And if you just handle life like that, hey, man, that first girl might have been on something. Because that's handling life like a boss. And that's classy, bro.
Oh, my God. Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
You know it. That is so classy.
Yeah.
No, bro. I'm serious though. That was a joke, but that was.
No, yeah, I know. I just think at the end of the day, you have to be someone who knows.
Yeah.
That I did what I needed to do to get the win, So a loss was not necessarily on me. And so it's like this guy, and what frustrates me is that this guy, after that situation, he'll probably get on his own TikTok if he has one, and he'll make a woman bashing video. And it's like, dude, this chick caught you on a video splitting a check at Applebee's. So at that point, you're kind of not really in a position to create any kind of content like that. But that's what we see time and again, is like people who don't want to accept responsibility for the role that they played in a particular undesirable outcome, getting on their own soapbox and talking about how they're in the right and how everything needs to be this way according to their own worldview. And it's like, bro, it's like, listen, you have no credibility. Your credibility is shot because like the situation played out in such a way where you left a whole lot of you left a whole lot of shots out there. Like you left a whole lot of room on the table for things to have been done differently that you didn't do differently. So you need to hold yourself accountable for that. And like, you know, this guy will probably make videos or whatever. He'll probably make a post and he'll probably bash the chick who made this video about her. And so that's when we get that whole tit for tat thing going on, which serves no real purpose other than to just be antagonistic and combative. And it's like, look, man, from a man's perspective, at the end of the day, you just need to have your ducks in a row. And his were not. And so when they are not, you open yourself up to ridicule. And at the end of the day, you need to be able to know that you can retain all of your self-respect and dignity as a man by not opening yourself up to reasonable ridicule, because this is reasonable ridicule. But, you know, that's just pretty much how I saw it.
Not fair. And but yeah, man, this is an interesting situation, man. But you know, just hopefully, bro, that you know, we don't have too many guys out here thinking like this. This is a bit extreme. This is extremist red pill views. And I don't get down with it all the way. Again, if there was a situation where y'all agreed on something and she ran it up, fair. Right. But if there was a thing where, hey, I'm going to take you out, I'm going to pick you up, I'm going to drive you there, I'm going, you know, bro, finish the job. And,
yeah.
And again, man, and this, because what are you doing when you're setting this standard for yourself in life? And so, you know, you just taking a ball and going home, like, I don't get it. And do you really want vagina under those circumstances?
Right.
Like, I don't understand that. So what level of desperation are you at where you want forcible vagina? Just
it looks like it looks like he's pressing and begging. That's what yeah. It's
bro, is fucking spinach artichoke dip and goddamn nachos. You know, whatever the hell, you know, yeah,
mozzarella sticks.
Yeah, she had a couple margaritas. Big whoop, bro. Take the L. She's been drinking.
Yeah.
No, it's just like, bro, who cares, man? But yeah, fellas, if there is a bone in your body, man, where you're at least entertaining doing those things, at least have standards of when you're going to do such. And we've spoke on those standards, man, but just at least have standards on when you would pull a card like this. But simply because you don't even think you're going to get a hug, but at the end of the night, you're not going to pay, then, hey, bro, that's your fault for this situation. You should have found out somehow through either the conversation through text, phone call, or when y'all first met that she really wasn't digging you like that anyway.
Right.
So that's just one of those things too, man. Well, what kind of fishing are you doing? And man, I'm the barrel guy. I shoot my fish in a barrel. And so I know the ones that want me, so it's not a big deal. And it's just like, yeah, basically when I ask them out, they're like, God damn, yeah, it's just take me out. And it's like, all right, cool. Yeah. But for the ones where I had to scratch, claw, you know, yeah, I want to take that. Hey, man, that's the one that's going to take you for the free ride.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another thing too, fellas. It's all about the evaluation process, and only mess with females that's trying to mess with you.
Yes.
And so staying in your lane, staying in, hey, bro, I get it, bro. I get it. But she bad. I get it, bro. But you're not doing the male equivalent of that right now. So wherever you're at right now, then go live that. One of the coolest things I ever see, bro, is emo anime kid when he got a bad low-key anime emo girl. And it's like they're in their same lane.
Yeah.
He found something just for him, and she gets it, and they're there, and they're loving it. You know what I'm saying? That's I believe in that there's somebody for everybody. I really do. And people just have to be honest with themselves, look in the mirror and say, hey, this is where I'm at. And these 6s and 7s I keep attracting, well, God damn it, that might be where I am.
Yeah.
Own up to it, champ, and then ball out with the 6s and 7s. Until you at least get your weight up so you can evolve. Because, brothers, the cool thing about us is our wall is financial. So just get your money up, then your rates increase. And honestly, you could be in the same shape. You could still have the same buck tooth. You know what I'm saying? The same whatever that got people calling you ugly. But if you got guap as a man, you can get a Halle Berry. So the cool thing about us guys, like we said, it just digging into ourselves and making sure that we actually get to the bag, do what we know we need to do, so we can have the best options available for us. And so we're not Applebee's man. You know what I'm saying? Because this is definitely a cautionary tale.
Yeah, it really is. And I think that one of those last points that you brought up is very important that not enough of us follow, is just dealing with women who have mutual interests. Now, by no means does mutual interest guarantee you the exact result that you want, but you're in pole position when you're dealing with a woman who is also interested back. But don't deal with women who are apathetic or indifferent, because that's going to result in something that you don't want, and that's what you should avoid. Know that you're dealing with somebody who's interested. Like a lot of this stuff is simple, but we just make it complicated sometimes.
Hey man, apparently some people don't know, bro.
But that's what happens when you press. When you press, you make things up in order to keep going, because you just want it so bad, because you're not accustomed to it or used to it. So you press and press and press in order to rationalize why you're putting in such an inordinate amount of emotional and physical work. And oftentimes that investment just doesn't pay off, because if you're pressing and it's working, if you're pressing and it feels like work, it's because you're dealing with someone who's not interested. If there's mutual interest, if she's interested, it's not going to feel like work like that, and you're not going to feel like you need to press. You'll still need to do your job to not mess it up and to come to the table ready to bargain, but you're not going to have to work at it like that. You know, building it brick by brick, as they say.
Yeah, no need to shoot threes when the game's not out of reach. It's not even in the fourth quarter yet. There's no need to chuck it from half court. Like, there's no need for that. So
like if you can get a layup, get a layup. Don't shoot a three when there's nobody at the basket.
Yeah, bro.
You know,
the game has changed, bro.
It really has, man. It really has. But that'll do it for this particular video, man. Always a good time chopping it up. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. If you're watching this on the YouTube channel, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Certainly appreciate it. We're going to continue the influx of fresh content onto the channel, so please be on the lookout. And again, hit that subscribe button so that you can get notifications whenever new content is posted to the channel. You can follow the Conscious Approach channel on Instagram at ConApproach, ConApproach, and you can follow me on Instagram at JVWins, JVWINS. There's also a Facebook page for this channel. If you happen to be watching this video on that, please share the video and hit the like button on the page. As always, I certainly appreciate you supporting logical content.
Yes, sir. And the name is Dogon SS. All right. You can find me on Instagram at Dogon_SS and on YouTube at Dogon SS. All right. Or any other social media platform. All right. At Dogon_SS. I'm lurking out there too. All right. So go ahead and follow or subscribe or whatever it may be on those platforms. All right. But yeah, appreciate the subs. All right, over here at the Conscious Approach, appreciate the subs, appreciate the likes and all the love, man. Appreciate you guys. All right.
Yeah, but for sure. Yes.
Yeah, man. And as I always say, man, you know, don't be too high, don't be too low, man. Keep it playing, man. Keep it chill, and honestly, keep it amicable. All right, going out here, creating conflicts for no reason gives you a lot of personal anxiety for no reason, man. So do yourself a favor, man. And if you are beefing with somebody, clear it on your side of the street so you can sleep better at night, man. So I think that was a good lesson that we learned today, man. So yeah, man, keep it playing, keep it chill.
Yeah, we don't need to be out here making enemies, man. And you men, man, fellas, man, need to learn how to come to the table ready to bargain. So we'll keep on pushing our content. But until the next time, we'll see you later. Peace.
Peace.